or even like on meditation, like how you can better your breathing,
Mm-hmm.
how you can work on breathing, because a lot of time I've seen that people, they get into this habit of starting like to meditate, but they
Mm-hmm.
don't actually understand the concept of meditation, and then they tend to give up. So they'll
Mm-hmm.
try it for like 2-3 days, and then they'll be like, oh, I cannot do this.
Mm-hmm.
So is there like a better or easier way which like you can suggest people, or like how did you like manage to continue with uh, meditation when you first started? Like I'm pretty sure like you had the same thoughts, right? That hey, like I cannot do this, or hey, it's stupid, it's not doing anything, because people go into meditation with expectations
Mm-hmm.
that it's like miraculously going to change something big in their life,
Mm-hmm.
without understanding that like they are trying to like just work on understanding who they are, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's your take on that?
Yes, there are a few things. With meditation, experiencing rapid growth is really, really hard in a person.
Uh-huh.
Um, if you think about it from a physiological perspective, more of an aesthetic perspective than a physiological. But if you go to the
Hmm.
gym every single day
Yeah.
for 4 months,
Yeah.
other people will notice your results faster than
uh,
you will.
true. Yeah.
So that's something tough with meditation, is that if you dive into it and expect to see your own results super duper quickly, it's going to be very,
Uh-huh.
very difficult to continue the practice, because you're not going to see that positive feedback for a while. And
Yeah.
also you're living with it day to day. So
Hmm.
maybe you increase your ability to sit down and read for an extra 30 seconds, an extra 1
Yeah.
minute. But that has a positive feedback loop, where
Hmm.
if you can do that, you continue to incrementally increase day to day. And my big issue with meditation is people people think of it as a place you're going and not a
Yeah.
path. So people want to get into this state of meditation where you lose complete proprioception. So you don't have you lose the feeling in your arms and your hands and your body, so
Yeah.
you don't know where you are anymore. So
Yeah.
it feels like you're floating in space. And people want that. People really want
Yeah.
that. People want
Yeah.
to feel their chakras align and feel the sensation of light and bliss in
Uh-huh.
their body.
Yeah.
And maybe that's along the path, but it's not the end of the path either. So with
Hmm.
meditation, well, often the goal is to get somewhere, whereas it's often referred to as the practice or as a practice. When I talk to my friends about meditation, my
Yeah.
friends that are super into it, we talk about, my friend will often ask me, hey, how's your practice going?
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. It's not a job, or it's not something that you're doing to get somewhere. It's something that you're practicing, because to practice something means you're getting better.
Yeah.
And as with meditation, you'll never get to the state where you're a perfect meditator. That's never the goal of meditation. That's never been the goal, is to reduce anxiety or anything like that. It can get you there, but to me, the way that I see it is that it is a practice. It's something that you're never going to get good at. I guess that would be a good way to put it. Like even
True.
me,
Yeah.
I've gone to the point where I can meditate for 16 hours a day, and
Wow.
it's not,
Wow.
and I don't feel good at it. Like, it doesn't feel like I'm good at meditating,
Yeah.
because there's always a little bit more. It's always a little bit further.
Yeah.
So, and it's not about clearing your mind either. That's a really common misconception as well. It's what I've found good, because meditation can go off in so many different streams. You can do Buddhist meditation or Zen
Uh-huh.
meditation, or you can do
Yeah.
Vipassana meditation. There are all of these different meditative models that you can go after, where you're looking at body scanning and breath work. To me, it's about just letting your mind flow
Hmm.
and accepting the thoughts as they come, and really diving into thoughts. So I also don't think that it's good to press thoughts away. There's a really,
Yeah.
really good guided meditation by Alan Watts, where he talks about meditation and your thoughts. So your thoughts being a cloud and your mind being a lake.
Uh-huh.
And for your mind to be calm, for the lake to be calm, the cloud or your thoughts has to completely dissipate all of the rain, all of the rain
Yeah.
that it absorbs, all the thoughts that you have. You have to let those happen before they'll stop. So you just have to accept them and go along with them and go to the very end of that rope And then once you're at the end of the rope, there's nothing left. And then the thoughts will stop. So if you're consistently thinking about something and you go to meditate, it's not going to
Yeah.
go away like that. It might get worse,
Yeah.
actually, that you think about it more and more and more and more and more. But at some point, your
Mm-hmm.
brain
Yeah.
stops and goes, well, I'm done thinking about that.
Yeah.
And then the lake is calm. Your mind becomes calm. And that's when the proprioception stops. And that's where, so something that he says is that there's nothing that you can do to stop those thoughts from coming. And to attempt that is to attempt smoothing rough water with a flat iron. You're only going to make it worse by trying to stop it.
Yeah. Very well put, man. Like, I think that's like one major like dogma people had, like, you know, in terms of meditation, that um, that like, you know, if you're getting thoughts, like, you know, you should like stop thinking about those thoughts, or like you should start like fighting those thoughts. But you said it like very well, man, that the more you try to like not think about it, your monkey brain is gonna like, you know, kick you in the ass, and you're just gonna go back and think about it again.
Yeah.
So you're constantly stuck in that loop, and now you're not meditating, but you're just like focusing and going round and round in those thoughts, right? Beautifully put, man. Like, in order to like calm down the lake, you got to like pour everything out of the clouds first, or let go of everything. Beautiful, man.
Yeah.
I think that's one major thing, which like, that's a good insight you provided to people, man. Beautiful. Because I feel that like nowadays people have, you know, easy access to drugs, rather than like, because meditation, to be honest, and in your experience you must have seen, is something which you got to work on every day. It takes time, right? And the way you gave the gym example was perfect. You cannot see the results, but other people, they see the results before than you do, right? So you put it like in a very good way. So I think like nowadays people, rather than taking the more challenging route, which is more beneficial in the longer term, people are like, you know, kind of like trying to find escape through the shorter means, right? Quicker versions, like drugs, or like, you know, medications, antidepressants. So I think meditation, as per what you mentioned, is something which, like, if everyone incorporates, it's going to change like so many people's lives, man. Right?
Yeah. And even in a non-meditative way, because meditative is the idea of sit down meditation is very limiting. You can't be in the middle of an argument, or you can't be in the middle of a sports game or something, a super stressful part of your life, and just sit there and sit down. Like, unless you're in India and you're in the middle of a supermarket and you're trying to decide between the big ghee and the little ghee, you can't sit down and just start meditating without someone calling security. So there are all of these different breath exercises now that are enabling people to take control of that autonomic nervous system to get out of anxiety for a few minutes. Or to get into anxiety for a few minutes, because there's this inverted U in competition, where if you're super relaxed, you're not going to do great. If you're super anxious, you're not going to do great. So there's this middle ground of being anxious and relaxed, and that's where you hit your flow state, where you stop really perceiving things and you kind of just go through the motions. Your body knows what to do, and you just do it. So that's another place where you can incorporate breath work, where you can take deep breaths into your belly and slow down your autonomic nervous system, or turn off your autonomic nervous system and stop releasing norepinephrine and adrenaline, or norepinephrine, which is adrenaline, sorry.
Yeah.
Or you can breathe super duper heavy and deep, super duper shallow and fast, and that'll increase your adrenaline. So it's kind of like deconstructing the nervous system response. So when you see a bear, there's going to be a particular physical response.
Yeah.
Or when you're in the middle of an oasis somewhere in a nice hot pool surrounded by palm trees, there's going to be this calming response. So we can actually deconstruct that and reverse engineer it so that we can create those states of mind that happen, those physiological states and those states of mind that happen when we see the bear, or when we're in the oasis. So you can create that same sensation of, wow, I got to go now. I'm super pumped up. I'm really, really focused on this one thing. Or we can go, okay, expand our narrowed vision, relax.